another thing about editorial ego is like, and this is something I think to myself all the time, is like, what is the, and this is something I think about too in writing, is like, what is the most important thing? That is a question that I use all the time, is with a writer and the editor, or who is the most important person right now. And like, if I'm doing a project and I'm weighing, like, should we cut this line? Like, the question is, what is the most important thing? The most important thing is it, at this moment, is it telling the reader how the character feels, or is it keeping the story moving? And if it turns out that, like, right now the more important thing is the momentum of the story, then yeah, we should cut this line because it's taking away from the momentum of the story. So then I might make my argument for that in the margin of the manuscript about, like, I won't use the phrase like the most important thing is the momentum of the story, but that would be like my underlying argument, is like, listen, right now the most important thing is that we keep this book going. Like, you are on a tear here, and we do not want to distract the reader by having this random reference to something that happened 40 pages ago. So can we just cut this line? So that's the thing I use a lot in editing. And it's the thing I use a lot, like, if I'm having an argument with somebody, like, is the most important thing how I feel right now? Or is the most important thing getting, and then, I mean this on a personal level, like, is the most important thing, like, making our relationship work well enough that we can carry through and keep doing this book, you know? In some cases, how I feel is really important, and in some cases it is not. And especially and this is the thing I've also learned about editing cross-culturally, is like, quite often as a white person, my feelings are not the most important thing, and it's very dangerous if I center them. Because the more important thing is telling the stories of people who have helped, not telling the stories, but helping the stories of writers who have not been historically well represented. Helping those stories get out there is the most important thing. And so, like, I have said, an example I think about, I've said stupid things, and they have people, and writers have gently, like, set me down, and I have thought, and I felt hurt by that or upset by that, but then I've been like, how I feel is not the most important thing. The important thing is, like, I have just learned something and I should move along with this. And I mostly try to do that most of the time. So, yeah. I mean, I'll give you an example. Was that, like, when I was working on a book, the first book I ever worked on with a Native American author was Eric Gansworth's If I Ever Get Out of Here, which is a really wonderful, powerful middle grade YA novel. He's 13, so he's right at the cusp, about music, and it's set on the Tuscarora Indian Reservation in upstate New York in the early 1970s. And or maybe the mid 1970s. It's been a few years. And anyway, I was writing the book copy for it, and I tried to make some pun about reservations, like, he's off the reservation, or he has no reservations about what he's doing, or something like that. And Eric very gently was like, no. It's like, that's really cheesy. Everybody has done that. No, we do not do this thing. And I was like, all right. I'm not used to authors pushing back on my copy, and sometimes I feel like, oh man, I labored so hard on this. But in this case, I was wrong, and it was cheesy, and he called me on it, and that's a good thing, And so, so even if I felt bad, like, it was important to me not to carry that forward, but to learn the lesson and go from there. So.
And you did immediately, and you said, okay, well, I'm wrong, we'll just rewrite it, and that's it? Or let me sit on this for 24 hours? And
I mean, I think I probably did sit on it for like 24 hours, and then I was like, okay, I mean, God knows I don't want to put bad copy out there. I don't want to put cheesy copy out there. So it was a useful thing all around. But I mean, I guess this comes back to that ego point too, is like, about writerly ego. Like, I think whatever kind of ego you have, when you stop listening to other people, that's the dangerous point. You know, like not to everybody. You've got to like keep your own vision and your own sense of what you're doing. But if there are thoughtful people around you who want to help you do what you're doing better and who understand what you're doing, and who share your goals, then like you need to be listening to them.